I will talk about how to go from 5K per month to making your first 100K per month profit as a consultant. So we have my friend here, so he will just ask questions and we'll just respond to all.
Okay. How do you land your first paying clients?
Right, how do you land your first paying client? So you land your first paying client by doing one of two things. So for example, you have two options. Would you want to make content or would you want to hire someone as a sales guy who would generate you meetings? Which one would you do?
Content.
Content, done. So basically you do content. And basically my strategy today, what I wrote down is that the main platform that I would start with is YouTube. Because you can't, be on all platforms at the same time. Because we as a consultants, we want to focus on having lean team, maximum leverage, and compounding growth. So TikTok doesn't really compound. But when it comes to YouTube, people watch same videos year after year, right? So there's one thing. Second thing is that because you can't be on all platforms, you gotta focus on one main primary platform. And based on my data and context from making 5.8 million profit, I have seen from 1100 different clients that the best platform is YouTube. Because people on YouTube, it's kind of like watching TV. So people don't watch TV, they watch YouTube. So you create content on YouTube and you focus on creating high quality content. So what I have done is that I'm doing daily uploads. My goal was at some point doing 6 to 9 high quality long forms, which is basically mission impossible to create high quality content. So now I have the most optimized system, which basically is I do this. I go to YouTube live stream and I go to YouTube live stream daily. I talk about the idea about some topic, and based from that, it becomes automatically podcast. I don't need to edit or upload because YouTube immediately saves it to playlist that's podcast playlist. And from that, it automatically creates my blog post, I have blog. And then from blog, it creates automatically email newsletter called Elite Edge, right? And because I'm articulating in live stream and interacting with my customers and audience, yeah, it's not getting a lot of views, but it's maximizing trust, and people trust you more when they can interact with you. At the same time, I'm explaining very complex topics and concepts in YouTube live stream. And then when I finally do the Elite Keynote, which basically means YouTube high quality video, I know how to articulate complex topics in most simple and easy to understand ways and produce high quality YouTube long form video. So the question was how to get first clients. I think YouTube as a primary platform, and you do live streams and YouTube videos that are high quality every single day. You don't do more, you don't do less. I think that's the most optimal for you to get maximum volume, maximum output from the least amount of input.
How should I price myself?
How should you price yourself and your consulting service? I think the best way to price yourself is first start with the client. So my number one value and principle is customer and viewer obsession, which means that everything starts and ends from the customer. So number one, how much value can I deliver to the customer? Number one. Based on that, how I can charge, 20 or 50 times less than price. So for example, if I make my client 5 mil, I will price 50 or 100 or 200 times less to make it no-brainer. But for you, you're okay, how do I price my service? You combine that with thinking about how much he can pay and how much he wants to pay. And based on that, you need to talk with your customers, hop on calls, and get the data for you to know how much they can afford and how much they want to pay. And based on that, you adjust the price. First, if you are just starting out, you can do it for free because you don't have any case studies or testimonials. Then you basically, in exchange for free work, you get testimonials and case studies. From that, you increase price. For example, how I did myself, instead of just telling you, I will just tell you what I did and show you. So what I did is that when I started my first company, Elite Stride, I think my first client paid me like 1K. He paid me $500 deposit. Then I said I'm going to launch the product in 1 month, and he will pay $500 more, 500 euros more when we start. So I charged 1K. He got results, and then I got good word of mouth. I got more clients from that customer. Then I'm like, oh, I gotta charge more because I was talking to my mentor. So I always listen to my mentor, and he said, Elias, you are charging too little. If you are hoping on closing costs, you need to charge at least 3K. You shouldn't do like 1K closing costs. It's impossible to scale to 100K per month profit. So what I did is that I increased the price to 2K. Then I closed clients for 2K on YouTube. So basically I was making YouTube videos and getting like 10 to 50 views. One guy booked a call with me and I closed it for 2K. Then I increased to 3K. Then 5.8K. And with 5.8K price point, I closed 20 guys for 5.8K, actually a bit more, maybe like 23 guys. And I made 100K per month profit in 85 days because I knew how to charge as much as I can deliver value. So based on that, I'm like, okay, 5.8K is sweet spot for my ideal client profile. So yeah, you basically charge as much as you can without cracking a smile. So basically, you need to have balls to charge a high price, but at the same time, your client needs to afford it, and it needs to be 10 to 50 or to 200 times the value that he paid you. So if you, for example, deliver $100 of value, you can charge like $5. But if you deliver the client like 100K of value, you can charge like 10K or 5K or 2K easily. Yeah, that's how I think about pricing. So over deliver in value so you can charge 20 times or 50 times less from the value.
What separates you from other consultants?
Okay, what separates me from other consultants? I think the biggest thing is that I use scientific method. I used first principles. I use my 5-step system, which is basically first question, then I delete or eliminate, then I simplify, then I automate, and then I accelerate. So for example, I'm like, okay, everything goes through scientific framework. So I'm using different mental models and frameworks. I'm using spirituality and like different religions and different like concepts in spirituality. And I'm more like my strategy is not like open source. It's more like closed source. Like Steve Jobs, he was always closed source. He never revealed his business secrets. So I'm trying to, deliver as much as I can value upfront in free content, and then when people pay me, they get the secret sauce, the insider information for them to have elite edge in their consulting business. So what separates me is that number one, I have sold $25 million online. I have worked with 1,100 clients and helped them to scale to 100K per year and 1 million per year. And I have personally made in profit in last 4 years, 5.8 million profit. So based on that, I have all the context and data and different data sets that I can use to help my clients. At the same time, I'm the only guy who has been selling at this young age for 36K B2C service for people who barely could afford it, but they still got great results, and I still over-delivered for the value. Meaning, for example, I don't know anyone who has done with outbound, meaning he had a sales guy who went into different groups and he made 105K in 1 day with one sales guy and one CEO and one consultant, basically like one-man team. I don't know anyone who has done it. I'm the only guy who has done it, and I think that's the main thing. It's like me knowing more about the real stuff that matters in the business, that's not vague, that affects indirectly into you and into your business. And basically based on that, I go below the surface and I go deeper into like the main constraint that's holding my clients back. And I basically actually obsess about the customer, and I think about like, I'm not like just consultant. I feel like I'm more like engineer. I build a system and then I analyze the system and its constraints and bottlenecks, and based on that we focus on the biggest constraint, the biggest problem in our business. And then when we find the biggest problem in the business, we find out how we can maximize the effort, the capital, the money, and time to solving the biggest problem in the business with our resources that we have. I think based on that, like, and based on me spending over 415K into different mentorships, consultants, coaches, I have pretty much out of context, like what my clients need and how I can create solutions for them and help them to make the money. So for example, like I was talking with you today before this video with Cody, and Cody is making 50K per month. The guy was, back in the day making like 3 to 5K per month working in the bar. Think about it. He went from 3K per month to 50K per month by having the right mental models, worldview and paradigm and belief, skills and traits that I gave him, and he used all my playbooks. So it's like, yeah.
What do you think, like, how many customers should you have to hit the actual, like, 10K in a month?
Okay, how much customers do you need for you to make 10K per month? Let's talk about 100K per month profit. So how to make 100K per month profit, how much customers you need? If you charge 5K, you need 20 clients. If you charge 10K, you need 10 clients. So my goal is on whiteboard 640K per month. So I can close 80 deals. So basically, I mean, how much clients do you need to make 100K per month profit is based on the price that you charge. And I think the best price point for B2C is 5K, 10K. For B2B, it's 10K to 40K, the lifetime value of the customer. So yeah, I think like ideal price point, if we combine B2B, meaning business to business, if you sell to companies, and B2C, if you sell to consumers, I think the sweet spot is 10K, but at least 5K. Because if the price is under 5K, it's pretty hard to, make 100K per month profit because it's not really scalable. Because we as consultants, instead of building low ticket stuff, we try to focus on high ticket stuff. Low ticket works on big scale, but I think the best way to make 100K per month profit is by having 10K product and selling it to 10 people per month. And then if your closing rate is, let's say, 25%, you close 1 out of 4 deals, you only need to generate 40 calls, 40 sales calls from YouTube, and then close from 40 calls, only 10 clients for 10K, and that's how you make 100K per month profit, even without the sales guy. But if you have the sales guy and he just books you 10 qualified meetings that are pre-sold, pre-framed, and pre-qualified, you can have 10 calls and close 10 calls and make 100K per month profit if you sell 10K product, for example. Yeah. So do you have a question?
No.
Yeah. So if this video was good and you want to basically make 100K per month profit, I have basically a free gift for you, which is free 100K per month profit consulting map that shows you how I have made 5.8 million profit in last 4 years and how you can basically just start and grow your wildly profitable online consulting business, even if you don't have experience or skills, or if you don't want to show your face on camera, or if you want to show your face on camera. So 100K per month consulting map, grab it link below, and yeah, see you next one.